It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we've got a showdown in the AFC North. It's the Ravens and the Bengals, and it's coming up next.
On a chilly December afternoon, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. And Charles, our ball game here featuring a couple of young quarterbacks a lot of people have their eye on. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, Joe Burrow of the Bengals.
Yeah, Brandon, we're starting to see some of the old guard moving on. Guys like Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning. And in their place, there have been some dynamic young guys who have come into the league, not just this year, but in the last 3 or 4 years in particular. They've really changed the quarterback position. And I think both of these guys fit into that category. Youth is being served.
Evan McPherson about ready to get this going as we are underway now from Paul Brown Stadium. And the opening kickoff will not be returned as that will be a touchback. The Ravens offense set to take over and led by a man still just in his 4th season in the NFL, the 2019 MVP, Lamar Jackson.
The best numbers that Lamar Jackson possesses is that his team wins the vast majority of games that he starts at quarterback. But in addition, 2,900 yards rushing in his career. They know how to build around him and play to his strengths.
A good run there to start the drive. 13 yards, first down.
Here we go.
And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that. And here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line.
Baby, let's go. Get excited. Let's go. Let's go.
I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Jackson going to hold on to it again. 1st down and more for Jackson. And he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? And when you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball, but the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they give to Freeman. And a penalty flag down as he gets only about a yard. And let's listen in on the call. And that's on the guard, Kevin Zeitler. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there, but it's going to be 2nd down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Here's Jackson to throw. And this is caught by Watkins. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Tucker's kick right there, it's good. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Time to see this Bengals offense here as they get set for their first drive. And under center, of course, is the #1 pick in the 2020 draft, now in year number 2, Joe Burrow.
And what a rookie season he had indeed. A knee injury knocked him out in Week 11 at Washington. And while the Bengals only won 2 of his 10 starts, I think everyone around the league and anyone who watched the NFL came away impressed. 13 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, nearly 207.
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted, thrown back across his body. Picked off at the 24. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. Well, you're already down on the scoreboard, and now, Charles, you go out there, very first play, throw the interception. That defense, they're going to have to bow up.
Yeah, and let's see how they handle this, because we always talk about reverting back to what you practice. Well, you practice these situations. It's called sudden change. You don't expect to be out there this fast, but you are. Do you go out there with poise, or do you go out there with panic? Panic could get you scored on again.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Jackson. And that'll be caught. Touchdown Ravens. It's Hollywood Brown.
Come on now, let's do
Marquise Brown there to make the grab. And the Ravens are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Here again comes Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals. And he'll need to find a way to shrug off the opening drive, if you can even call it a drive. 1 play and an interception, so he's got to forget that.
I know that in today's football, we have a good number of coaches who don't look at time of possession the way that the old school guys did. But there's still a place for it. And I think that on this drive, after having thrown that interception, they're going to want to eat up a little bit more clock and run some offense and give their defense a little bit of a break.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Here we go. Here we go. Everyone go. 180. Done.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4. Joe Burrow in year number 2, moving around pretty good considering the seriousness of his injury last year. If you're a defensive coordinator here, what do you try to do to slow Joe Burrow down?
I think you want him to be in rhythm. I think you want him to be on time. And normally you want to take that away from a quarterback, make him hold it a little bit longer. But when he has a chance to maneuver around the pocket, sometimes get out of it, big plays result. I want him throwing the ball on time and then tackling the receivers so there's no extra yardage. Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. A beautiful fake. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. They go play action now. Jackson out to his left. And Jackson going to have the 1st down as he will get to the ground to avoid the contact.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
10-0 the score after one on EA Sports. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And that is not going to get it done either. Once again, he's stopped behind the line by this Bengals D. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Well, he'd had success earlier in the drive keeping it himself. Not here, though.
And sometimes when you have that kind of success, you can fall in love with the option a little bit too much and not give the defense credit for making adjustments themselves. And that play starts to lose its effectiveness.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. From midfield now, here's Jackson. This one complete to Devontae Freeman. And in for the Ravens touchdown.
Come on now.
Devontae Freeman, 50 yards. And the Ravens will extend their lead. And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else.
And we talk so much from a defensive perspective about scheming and finding ways to take away the run. That means the offense has to devise different ways to get the ball in the hands of their guy out of the backfield. Find open space, let him run, and big things can happen, and they did right there.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals offense getting set and ready to go again here. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10.
Big 13. Big 13.
Now Burrow. Open man is Chase, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Check six. I got it.
1st down. Here's Burrow. He finds his running back, Mixon. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
11.
From the 39, Burrow. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
An attempt at a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Again, it's Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. The screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
Here's Kevin Huber now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that'll skip out of bounds inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Play action. Now Jackson. Flushed out right. 1st down and more for Jackson. And Jackson's so tough to stop. He's got a 1st down, and he gives himself up there at the end. Well, another fine run right there for Lamar Jackson, and CD, that one puts him over 100 yards now for the ball game.
And remember when all we talked about were 100-yard games from running backs? That when a quarterback did it was a surprise? With Lamar Jackson, that's part of the package as well. He'll have as many 100-yard games in the season as the top running backs in the league.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. Open man is the tight end, Nick Boyle. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
180. 180. Hey, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
From the gun, it's a run for Freeman. And that is not going to get it done either. Once again, he's stopped behind the line by this Bengals D. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
That's the way to get it going, boy.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Every day, any day. Let's go. Do it. We change it.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line.
Let's go.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick it down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. He goes underneath to Freeman. His 2nd catch. This one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's 2nd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson. Got a man. It's Brown. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 12-yard line.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts
Let's go.
as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Again, Jackson. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. And I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. 2nd down and 3. From the gun, Jackson. And that'll be caught. Touchdown, Ravens. It's Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Marquise Brown with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Ravens continue to pull away here in this first half. Tucker now to add the point after. And the lead is now 24. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Burrow looking to pass. This one hauled in by Sample. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. He will find his man Chase complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Open man is Uzama. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Here's Burrow. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. C.J. Uzama as the first half is winding down. And the Bengals are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. And that's a critical touchdown. I don't want to be too hyperbolic or whatever, but they needed some points on the board before halftime.
They certainly did, and, you know, it's not going to erase everything that happened in the first half. Look, they got outplayed. There's no question about that. But now it gives them a chance to regroup, feel a little bit better about themselves. And how many games have we done where we've seen everything flip when another half begins? And by the way, did you say hyperbolic?
I did. Thank you. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that'll cut this to a 17-point spread. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. On the return, Devin Duvernay. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
Let's go.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And we'll see how aggressive they want to be in these final stages before the half. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Ravens. And their offense has been in top form so far, especially their passing game, as it's helped push them out to this big halftime lead. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they too found some success throwing the football. But I think both teams would say there's room for improvement in the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bengals with work to do in this third quarter, but they'll get the football first as we are back underway. Taken in at the 3. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
They will throw on first down with Burrow. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. They go play action with Burrow. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. As the offense takes the field, we zero in on Lamar Jackson. And a trio of touchdown passes so far. They've got the lead as well. All is good in their football world at this point.
And it's so much fun for our colleagues, right? Think about our producer, our director, everyone putting together these shots. Wouldn't you love to be in the truck right now and hear him calling for it? Give me that one, give me that one, give me that one. And we just saw 3 beautiful touchdown passes.
Now he's looking for 4. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run. But for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 3rd down, Jackson. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the gun, it's Jackson. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. Shrugs him off. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
Well, when you've got a quarterback like this dead to rights, you got to make sure to wrap up. Instead, though, he breaks free and off he goes.
Yeah, this is great work by a quarterback here. He's doing anything he can to avoid taking a square hit. I admire the way he worked his way through the initial contact and then continued downfield for good yardage.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. They'll run on 1st down. It's Freeman. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They go to Freeman again on 2nd down. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 41 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
On the heels of that good carry by Devontae Freeman, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the 4th. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. Touchdown! Lamar Jackson hooking up with Mark Andrews. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. So definitely a good day's work throwing the football. Very good day's work. A 4 touchdown passes. They're really pouring it on.
Yeah, and so much for going into clock mode after getting that touchdown, right? Because you would think with the lead, 4th quarter, they might actually do that. No chance. They've kept attacking and got another touchdown pass as a result.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati set to take over once again, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Looking deep downfield. And this is dropped. Oh, my goodness. There was no one around him, but he took his eye off it, and it falls incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And the Bengals on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Like a freight train off the edge, Calais Campbell with a sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Here's Kevin Huber now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And a fair catch is taken here, a step or two inside the 45-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 44. They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield.
Defense.
Jesse Bates made the tackle from his safety spot.
Let's get it.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
John Harbaugh going to roll the dice. They're going for it on 4th down. They'll run it. Freeman. Freeman with a fast feet. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
What's the deal, y'all?
So that'll back him up 5.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Still 1st down.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15.
4 down. Check.
Following the penalty, it's Murray. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Another run for Murray on second down. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Delay of game, offense.
That's not good enough, man.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still third down.
And the delay of game penalty makes this much more difficult. 3rd and 8. Jackson from the shotgun. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Let's go.
Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Delay of game, offense.
Hey, man, let's play our game.
And that'll set him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
They go to Freeman again on 2nd down. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.